Happy Saturday. So today we are talking about the elephant in the room, the bedroom that is. And no, it's not the snozzberry. I'm talking about sexual timing and how couples can use it as a pathway to greater intimacy rather than letting it create distance. Sex is one of the main causes of discord in a partnership. So much of our culture gauges a good relationship around the myth of sexual frequency. We've been told the story that if you're not having sex all the time, something must be wrong. A couple must not be in love if sex isn't constant. But real life tells us otherwise. In the beginning, sex is like new and exciting. You carve out special time to be together and date and have fun. You experiment and you play with sex, but over time things change. The fire doesn't vanish, but it doesn't always ignite on command either. So after a while, you get to know each other's roadmap to an orgasm, and so instead of taking your time, it just turns into like a get her done mode. We got a good 2 to 3 minutes before the kids notice we're gone. So sex slides into the back burner as life piles on stress, running around the kids, trying to maintain life. Stress is actually the #1 killer of libido. So if your sex life is in a lull, it doesn't mean that the relationship is failing. It means that you've entered a new territory of real intimacy, where sex is less about the novelty and it's more about the bonding, the vulnerability, and the connection. At least it can be. But let's talk about the crunchy bits of sexual timing. So the real friction comes in when one partner is in the mood and the other partner isn't. So for the asker, the no feels like deep rejection from their partner. And for the receiver, there's a lot of pressure to please, and it can bring up a lot of shame and frustration if you're not in the mood. And if unaddressed, this creates real emotional distance and resentment between partners. A miss in sexual alignment can deteriorate the bond and leave you feeling really lonely. And I'm guessing that most of us have been on both sides of this by now. And it doesn't feel good. It never feels good. We want to make our partners happy, but it's not easy to fake desire. But here's the truth. A person's willingness for sex usually has less to do with their attraction or love for their partner and more to do with their internal state, the context of the ask, and their stress levels. So knowing how to initiate sex at the level that your partner can feel will get you where you want to be. One of the most important keys to sexual timing is understanding how desire shows up in the body. So for some people, it's spontaneous. Desire seems to strike out of nowhere, like you catch your partner's eye or you just have a fantasy thought. Just something instantly turns you on and you're ready to go. And this is often strongest at the early stages of relationships and with men. But for many of us, especially in long-term love, desire is more a responsive desire. And it doesn't begin with a lightning bolt. It starts with awakening gradually in response to emotional connection, safety, and affectionate touch. Responsive desire is like a fire. You have to stack the wood, you gotta light the spark, and you gotta let it build heat. Neither type is better or more real. It's just about navigating this as a couple. And the problem comes in when couples assume that spontaneous desire is the gold standard, and anything else means the spark has died. Honestly, responsive desire is just as natural. And when partners understand it, they can stop feeling rejected and start creating conditions that allow intimacy to run its course naturally. So here's an example. Okay, it's Sunday. Husband's out in the garage doing stuff. Suddenly he gets turned on by whatever. So he goes inside to find his wife. She's folding laundry. He starts grabbing at her and kissing her. And for him, this is completely in line with his emotions. But for her, this is out of context. She's in laundry and to-do list mode. So of course she's not turned on. But if he would slow down, help her finish the chores, gave her some non-sexual affection, and then shifted the environment into something that turns her on, her responsive desire could catch up to his needs. And when couples assume that spontaneous desire is authentic, they feel disconnected once it fades. And most people don't actually know how to navigate that once the spontaneous desire has run its course. But responsive desire is just as real and more important as a relationship progresses. Sex really thrives when couples understand the needed context around arousal, and it usually leans into the needs of the woman. And it's not just physical, there's environment, there's, lighting, like you don't want fluorescent lights beating in your eyes, like tone it down a little, light a candle. And yes, it's the man's work and hopefully his pleasure to get to know what she needs and provide that for her. So the energy of pursuing is a masculine energy, and it does often fall on the man. I know there are other dynamics, but this is a classic masculine-feminine model, just as an intrinsic energy. So if the woman is constantly pursuing sex, the man will often feel emasculated and he will be turned off. He'll be not in the mood. He'll be the one that's pushing her away. Because it's a man's nature to pursue sex, not be pursued. So here are 5 solutions from couples who they keep intimacy alive long-term in their partnership. And so these are the things they say we need to do. So number 1, affection throughout the day. Physical touch outside of the bedroom definitely matters. That's skin-to-skin hugs. That's kisses on the neck, holding hands. These micro moments boost bonding hormones and they keep that erotic energy simmering. This is actually the number 1 thing that couples who have lots of sex talk about. It's always keeping those home fires burning with desire. And number 2, you gotta do the unsexy thing. You gotta schedule time for intimacy. I know it sounds forced, but planning actually creates anticipation. Knowing Friday night is your time together allows both partners to prepare mentally and physically. It's like date night without clean clothes. But you are creating a special time that is focused energy for the two of you. And that is really important. We talk about it with kids, like, each child needs their own time with each parent, but the parents also need special time just for themselves. And number 3, warm-up matters, especially for women. Think full body. Think multisensory. Candlelight, music, a clean space. Her favorite scents, flavors, some laughter, because it's not about doing the thing. At this point, it is about weaving desire in with presence. Start early in the day. Send some sexy texts or some naughty pictures. And number 4, you have to learn how to shift context. Help each other transition out of task mode before initiating. Do the dishes together, handle the kids. Feel like a team before the invite for intimacy. Because feeling overwhelmed does not feel sexy, ever. But a relaxing glass of wine and some candlelight might. And number 5, stay curious about your partner. Instead of falling into routine, study each other's changing needs. Ask your partner, what would feel good right now? And study what your partner needs to relax and feel sensual. Remember the old days when you'd offer massage and just as a way to first get her shirt off, and then all that non-sexual touching, it would get her in the mood? You got to get back to basics. Remember, orgasm is not the goal here. You can do that alone. Sex and intimacy in a partnership is about being together in a way that is really unique to the two of you. It's a very special bonding time for the two of you. We're not 20 somethings having a one night stand in a bar. We're talking about deeply intimate, loving, bonded relationships where sex has just become a chore. But if your sex life is in a lull, it can actually be used as an avenue for new desires and learning something deeper about your partner. especially if you don't really talk about sexual needs anymore and you just have this routine that you just go for it. So I ask you again, do you know what you truly need from your partner? This is such a deep topic and it's very convoluted, but we're starting this journey of deep understanding on September 5th. So you can head to the comments and get signed up for my Sizzling Love Challenge, because we're going to start diving into this stuff. Because what we actually need from our partners, we rarely know. We just know that we get frustrated. So this is really for women who are either single or they want to tune up their relationship. So we're going to start taking this deep dive into our individual needs and how they align with our partners. So both partners really need to be supported at their level of need. And so that's where we're going with this. Because to have sizzling love, both partners need to feel it. So let's discover what that is. So come join me on September 5th. You can go to the comments and you can get signed up for the challenge. I am Connie Lynn Parker. I'm your spiritual life coach and life alchemist. And I say, get out there, folks, and speak your truth. Live in the magic of life. And as always, spread the love. Mwah. I love you guys.